Hey everybody, Black Ninja 797 here, and welcome back to another episode of Myth Busting Mondays. Hope that you guys are well, and welcome back to some more epic myth busting here today. And ladies and gentlemen, I know why you clicked on this video. You want to see the final myth that is presented in the title and the thumbnail, and do not worry, my fellow meme lords, that will happen in due time, but that will be at the end of the episode. In the meantime, we got 4 other epic myths that we're going to be doing, and that myth that is going to be at the end, that just in case you guys didn't happen to read the title or the thumbnail, is going to be, my friends, can we figure out the identity of who is driving the Midnight Riders tour bus on the passing? Because out of all the identity revealing myths that we have tried to do here on this series, we have not done the Midnight Riders tour bus. And I'm like, wow, out of all of them, how have I missed this one? Because, to be honest, this is probably the most likely one that we're going to have even a remote chance at finding somebody, because this is such an obscure one. Because all the other ones are kind of common knowledge, but not a lot of people know clip to check out that tour bus. So I'm really curious to see what our results will be. If you guys have enjoyed today's video, at the end, please, as always, show your support by dropping a like, comment, subscribe, and all that beautiful stuff. And anyways, guys, let's get on with this week's episode of Myth Busting Mondays. Myth: can the artillery gun in Blue Dog Hollow kill you in Back 4 Blood? Alrighty, my friends, it's been a minute. It's been a minute indeed since we had a Back 4 Blood myth on a episode of Myth Busting Mondays, but I thought I would bring it back just because there is some of you guys that are still big fans of this game, just like I am, and I do want to honor those fans by at least including some myths every now and again in this series. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is going to be the myth, can the artillery gun that is on the finale of Blue Dog Hollow kill you? Now, I'm curious about this because in Back 4 Blood, there's a lot of elements that are very similar to Left 4 Dead. I just want to see how exactly they are replicated in this game. Are they copied literally like copy and paste, or are they more like interpreted and not every single rule applies? So I am just curious that if I get in front of the gun and I jump in front of it, if it's going to kill me, just like how that it does in Left 4 Dead on Crash Course. So let's give this a try. Alright guys, so here I am in a public match with some randoms, and I actually just asked if they would help me out with this myth, and they were completely willing to do so. So shout out to these randoms, because I very rarely get help from them for myths when it comes to this series. So yeah guys, basically all I'm doing is that in this particular instance, I'm just jumping in front of the barrel and just having a random shoot it at me, just because I can't go to the end of the tunnel. But regardless of going to the end of the tunnel or not, this thing hit me, and it hit me clean. It knocked my character straight on her ass. So yeah, this myth is absolutely confirmed. The artillery gun in Back 4 Blood most certainly can kill you. By the way, post-editing John here. Just want to let you guys also know that for this myth, I was playing on the easiest difficulty on Recruit. So regardless of the difficulty, this thing will kill you no matter what. So make sure you stay out of its barrel. Myth: can you disable the tanks on the sacrifice ending with the director? Alrighty guys, so this myth was requested by my one viewer called Envy, and Envy is asking, can you basically disable the sacrifice tanks at the end on the finale where the port is? So the sacrifice, as we all know, ends up having 3 tanks that spawn in at the very end of the game when the bridge goes up to basically automatically kill the player guaranteed, regardless of whether or not you restart the generator. And I wanted to see if the director functions like normal and just automatically will just disable these tanks like the normal tanks, or if these tanks kind of act separately, kind of like how with the one myth that we did recently with Church Guy, where regardless of the director is off, the smoker still spawned in the safe room on Death Toll. So I'm looking around right now, and I see 0 tanks. Keep in mind that this is still the same footage where the director is disabled. I just fast forward a little bit. And I see no one. I see no tanks, I see no smokers, I see no spitters, etc. It is just me and the other remaining bots, and there's just nothing here. So now what I want to do is I just want to just simply just try to turn on the generator, and technically if this works the way I'm thinking of, then this actually is the way you can just avoid sacrificing yourself, but nope, I was wrong. These zombies automatically just show up because this triggers a cutscene and not a actual in-game event. So, technically, if you want to count the cutscene, this doesn't disable them, but if we're going to be going off of the gameplay, which I'm going to do personally, then yeah, this is confirmed. If you count just the gameplay only, yes, you can disable the tanks on the sacrifice finale. Myth: can you defib a survivor in the rescue vehicle in Left 4 Dead 2? Alrighty, meme lord, so Dr. Zed is back, and he is asking another myth here for this week's episode, and basically Dr. Zed wants to know if it's possible to defib anybody that is in a rescue vehicle. So when it comes to rescue vehicles in Left 4 Dead, not every one of them is technically like a rescue vehicle like the way that I think that we're thinking about it for this myth. So like for example, when we have like, let's say the Crash Course truck, you actually can go inside that rescue vehicle and it's kind of like an enclosed area versus like, let's say Jimmy Gibbs stock car in Dead Center, where it's just kind of like you're near the car and kind of like just hanging out outside of it. So regardless of whether or not that you're looking at a certain way, I'm pretty sure it does apply to both, but we are going to be trying to test it with vehicles you go inside of, so it might be slightly different with things such as Jimmy Gibbs stock cars. So if you want me to return to this myth again and test that out, let me know. But basically, this is how we're going to be doing it. So me and Monkey Shark, again, my one other Twitch mod that helped me out in last week's episode, so shout out to Monkey Shark. Basically, what we're going to be doing is that I'm just going to be trying to kill him in the truck here while the bots are actually frozen outside, so that way the game doesn't end. Because technically, if everyone's in the rescue vehicle, if you're incapped, I'm pretty sure the game is just going to try to like just rescue you and the game will end. So it has to be very niche for the circumstances. But basically, in a minute here, minus a couple of hiccups, I am going to auto-kill Monkey Shark with console commands, and then I'm going to be trying to use my defibrillator to see if I can be able to kill him and then bring him back to life. Alrighty, so this is about where I kill him, so I kill him right here. So now I'm just going to look for a hit scan to see if it'll even let me try to bring him back. And so far right now I'm getting nothing, which is why I'm meleeing in anger. But then I find somehow a spot right where his dick is, so apparently electrocuting his dick brings him back to life. Although to be honest though, at that point I kind of wish I were dead if someone was going to electrocute my dick with a defibrillator. So yeah, this myth is confirmed, guys. You can actually defibrillate somebody inside the rescue vehicles on Left 4 Dead. Now, we only did test out one, so like I said, once again, if you want me to try to test out some of the other unique ones, such as, like, the Jimmy Gibbs stock car, like, area, the area surrounding it, which is a little bit more niche and specific, let me know and I'll revisit this myth again. But in the meantime, I'm just going to leave it at confirmed. Myth: can you kill survivors in the Fort Hope social space on Back 4 Blood? Okay, now this is a really unique myth, because I'm pretty sure every single person that's played Back 4 Blood has at least thought about this once, and I don't really think that's ever gone beyond that point, just because a lot of people just assume you can't do this. But I really want to see if, at the end of the day, if it's truly impossible to kill anybody in the social space on Back 4 Blood. So, ladies and gentlemen, with the help of my one other Twitch mod named Doug Tyler, who, by the way, was very helpful with this myth, so shout out to Tyler. But yeah, basically what we're going to be doing is the first thing I want to see is if I can chuck frag grenades and Molotovs above the wall here on Fort Hope and see if the splash damage can actually make it where it can kill him. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, being like, John, it doesn't work throwing it through the blatantly obvious hole in the wall with the door. Why would it work throwing it over? Well, my friends, that's actually a very good question, and let me answer why. Basically, the idea is that video game logic isn't exactly all black and white. It's not exactly based off of what we can see. And for those of you that have played Left 4 Dead, you will know that sometimes the game can sometimes have basically these invisible barriers, where they're kind of like outlined with blue and like red lines, and basically this indicates about whether or not that you can interact with certain areas, whether things can spawn on certain areas, etc, etc. And I want to see within the social space here if by chucking the grenade over the wall instead of through the wall, if it actually will make it so that way the grenade actually has like a multiplier or a factor, such as positive or negative or yes or no or whatever it does in the coding to basically allow it to cause friendly fire damage. And so far, by using frag grenades and Molotovs, apart from the misses, I'm still actually hitting him, like, really dead on. In fact, this is going to be the most accurate hit right here, where I chuck a frag grenade literally right in the air, and it lands right on top of Tyler's head. It basically blows him up spot on, and it doesn't do anything. Now, we also know that the bullets aren't going to work, because the only way I can get an angle on Tyler is to go through the area that I'm not supposed to be able to kill him with regardless. But there is one more thing we can test out, which is the Special Infected, because they add a feature where you can now play a Special Infected in the social space. So what I want to do is I want to just try to kill Tyler this way. Now you guys can see that there's a prompt on screen that keeps appearing, basically prompting me to become a survivor if I'm going to try to get close to him. Now, I don't need to end up having a insta-kill. I don't need to have it where Tyler dies on the spot, one shot, one kill. But the one thing I'm really looking for is, can I damage him at all? Because here's the thing, is that even though it would be brutally slow and painfully annoying, if I can even damage him once, if therefore I keep replicating that same thing that just does even like one damage, eventually it will kill him over time. And that's really what I'm looking for. Is there a certain spot in the map where I can just be able to cheese a opportunity and basically kill him regardless of how long it takes. Now, when I was doing this recording session with Tyler, we really weren't having any luck. There was some special infected I just had to skip because they literally would just not work based off the way that they work. You know, some special infected sort of worked, where, like, for example, things like the Hawker, I could technically hit Tyler, it's just that I couldn't kill Tyler. It would just only bounce him back and basically give him kind of like a little bit of whiplash, but that's really the best that I was able to get at a certain point. So at this point, we were running out of options, and I had one last hope. I was like, you know what? Let's try the Crusher. Let's try the one version of the Tall Boy that can grab people and just see if for whatever reason that this works. I'm going to just basically see if I'm literally taking a shot in the dark. I'm just going to use his arm and see if he can, like, I don't know, like, pull him out of Fort Hope and be able to, like, strangle him in the gun range. If this doesn't work, then the myth is completely shot, because no other special infected will work based off the way the gameplay mechanics are. And what do you know? What do you know? This is shocking. Okay, so I try to grab him, and it says that I'm too close and to back off, but when I say no, which, you know, is of course going to warp me away then, it actually still grabbed Tyler and took him with me, and actually resulted in me killing him. I don't know if that's a bug, but I gotta assume that's a bug. Now I do it again, and this time I don't even have to warp. I just got him close enough to where I could stick my arm out without getting the prompt, and I'm automatically killing him. It's not like that he was actually close enough to me that it counts as the firing range. I actually pulled him out of Fort Hope because his gun was put away, and if his gun's out, then that means that he's in here. If he's got his gun put away, that means he's in there. Well, what do you know? This myth is actually confirmed at the end of the day, and this shocks me because this is such a bizarre myth, and I feel like that this is a myth that, well, a lot of people would probably just assume doesn't work, because Back 4 Blood is really hard to test for. But even within the means of the game, without even cheats enabled or anything, we were still able to figure out one specific instance where if all the stars align, you can somehow kill somebody in the Fort Hope social space. Well, my friends, the more you know. Alrighty, my friends, now we are on to the final myth of today's episode, and once again, the final myth is going to be, can we reveal the identity of who is driving the Midnight Riders tour bus on the passing? Let's do this. Myth, can you reveal the identity of who drives the Midnight Riders tour bus on the passing? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, meme lords of all ages, this is the final myth of today's episode, so we are activating no clip here on the second chapter of the passing, and we're just going to be zooming straight by the area where the bus shows up, and we're just going to be just trying to see if whether or not that is possible, if you can reveal the identity of who drives the damn bus. Alrighty guys, we're heading over there now. I'm so excited, I'm actually getting lost throughout the map. But don't worry, I will find my way here in just a second. So here we go, here's the spot, and there's the bus, and... Okay, now, I know that what that looks like, but let's just slow it down, just to be sure. Ladies and gentlemen, we finally figured it out. We finally figured out who drives all the vehicles in Left 4 Dead. It's none other than the man, the myth, the legend, John Cena!
Are you sure about that?
Alrighty guys, so this myth is busted. You can't reveal the identity of who drives the bus. I thought out of all the identity myths that this would be the one, but unfortunately it was not. But who knows, maybe one day it will happen, and who knows, maybe eventually we can try this in Back 4 Blood if the time allows, but at the meantime, right now, just like the other myths, this one, at least for revealing this identity, is busted. Alrighty guys, so that's going to be it for today's episode of Myth Busting Mondays, but don't click off just yet because I wanted to mention something really quick. If you guys end up enjoying this series and you want to see more epic and crazy myths like this, then make sure you end up checking out the prior episodes in the series, including last week's episode especially, because we did a crazy myth where we were seeing if whether or not it was possible to dodge the smoker tongue Matrix style, because that myth was really awesome to test. I think you guys will definitely get a big kick out of it, so make sure you check that out as well. But yeah, guys, if you also want to financially support the channel, you guys can definitely go check out my Patreon. It's always linked down below in all my YouTube video descriptions, or you guys can use supporter creator code BlackNinja797 in all caps in the Fortnite Epic Games item shops, because Epic is my very first sponsor, and they're sponsoring today's video, so shout out to Epic Games. And yeah, guys, I hope you truly end up enjoying today's episode, and I hope you end up enjoying seeing another YouTube video for the most unique YouTubers we're ever going to see. Thank you for watching, guys. I love you, and peace out.
Hey meme lords, Jesus here, and you better have enjoyed that video there by the eternal god Daddy Ninja. You should probably subscribe too, or the mighty Moab will come for your balls. If you enjoyed the video, You might like it too. And give me the memes. Flash, bang, boom!